Hello travelers, Tara here, and this is going to be your Scorpio full moon reading. This is a general reading and the messages may not resonate with everyone. In order to gain any insight into your own situation requires a personal reading. And I will tell you that at the moment, Mercury retrograde has struck my website. And so payment, you cannot make payments. Payments are acting really bizarre, as well as the booking forms. And so if you would like to book a reading with me, please go to my About box section. My email address is there. You can email me. Let me know what reading you want. I offer burning question, which is one question. I have the 20-minute reading, which is 2 questions. The 30-minute reading is 3 questions. The 45-minute is 4 to 5 questions. And then the 60-minute is an open, okay? And so just simply email me and let me know which reading. You can go to my website and go to tarot consultations to read about the particular readings. But if you want a book, email me and I'll submit you. I'll respond back to you with an alternate method of payment and a booking form. I do have developers looking at this right now, but I don't know how long that's going to take. I'm quite sure that my site is not the only one that's acting weird at the moment. Today is the actual, it actually stations retrograde tomorrow. And those of you who've been with me a while know that my website I'm always stricken by the Mercury retrograde over on my website. It has never failed in the 6-7 years that I have been doing this, okay? And so it's just an inconvenience, and I do apologize for that, so I ask for your patience. Again, you can go to my About box section. First, you can go over to the website, look at tarot consultations, choose which one you want. Then you get my email address. Email me, let me know what you want, and I will email you back a way to pay, okay, and a booking form. So that's that. I have with me also, I was in the middle of following up on a question that Jessica Adams submitted to me over on Substack and talking about the midterm elections. I have pulled the cards. I'm using the Nostradamus cards, and it is very, very interesting. I was in the middle, just about to start that particular article when I started getting these emails. I can't pay. So I had to stop. But do look for that. If you have not signed up for my website, you can find the little link over there on the channel art icon. It's called Substack. Click on that, sign up. It's a free newsletter. Okay. So now with that out of the way, my mom's coming tomorrow. Y'all pray for me. So with that, we're going to get into the reading. We are using the Radiant White deck. We are using the Levita Sibilla for clarification should we need. And I'm not exactly sure what oracle card I will be wrapping the reading up. We'll just see what the cards have to say. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and turn the camera around and put another shuffle and another rifle, and we'll open the cards, okay? So here we go. Alrighty then. My computer's acting weird. I hear it humming. I'm sure you guys can quite hear it as well. It's not supposed to be doing that. So we'll just, we'll see what happens here. Why the fan is on. It's elevated. I'm not pulling anything off of another drive. I've probably got 2 or 3 extra additional external hard drives connected to it just to save stuff. So let's see. Here we go. First card down. Well, there it is. There's our timing, the full moon. So if I'm going to take that as the timing, this is telling me that something is going to be triggered around the full moon, or that everything that it's going to be talking about everything that's going to come after the full moon. Now, you've been with me long enough to know that full moons hide things, right? We can't necessarily see as well as we can see in the stark daylight. So if there are any decisions that you need to make, or any, about anything really, you want to wait. You don't want to make a decision 3 days before and 3 days after, because emotions are heightened. Now, this full moon is going to be in Scorpio. That is the most intense water moon that we have. It will be happening at 25 Scorpio. So if you have your charts, whether from Jessica Adams or from me, look to see what other planets and asteroids you have at 25 degrees and what house is it falling in, because that house is going to tell you the area of life that may be affected. All right. Now, let's get the rest of these cards down. The Two of Pentacles. The Nine of Cups. Well, that's interesting. Okay. Next row down. The Eight of Wands. The Judgment card. Quite interesting. The Knight of Pentacles. You know, this Nine of Cups is talking to me, but I'm not sure. The Queen of Pentacles. The Empress. Oh, that's interesting. And then the Four of Swords. My goodness. All right. What is over the entire reading? The Fool card. Well, that's quite interesting. Because the Fool talks about new beginnings. The Fool also speaks about literally going on a journey. So traveling. And I have boats here. I have the Eight of Wands that usually represents flight. And then I have this horse here. And horses represent movement as well in the tarot. Only that is slow movement because he is the Knight of Pentacles. But the Fool card is also this idea of having trust and faith in the universe that things are going to be okay. Stepping out on faith without really knowing exactly what's going to happen. But at the same time, the Fool card can be this idea of be careful that you don't go over the cliff, right? So the dog, is the dog like happy here because you guys are traveling, or is the dog trying to warn you that you may be stepping off of a cliff? Okay, so we shall see how perhaps this plays out. So what do I have? 1, 2, 3 Pentacles. I have a Swords, a Cup, a Wand, but I have 3 major arcanas and 2 court cards. Okay. Now the major arcana cards hold more sway. One major arcana card holds more sway than all of these pip cards put together. Okay. Because the major arcana cards represent a spiritual lesson. And we have one of the luminaries that has come out here. And this is the Moon. Now, the Moon talks about using your intuition. The Moon speaks about those things that go on under the surface. So this could be psychological things, things coming up that make us fearful of things unseen and unknown. Okay. It is a timing issue, and we see that right around the time of this full moon, some of you have a choice or decision to make. That's what the 2s represent. 2s represent choices, options, dualities, oppositions, crossroads. In other words, there's something that will occur or is occurring for you at the moment, which, maybe you've got 2 options and you have to try to determine which one is the best option for you, right? It could be whether you are opposed in yourself. Should I do this or should I not do this? Should I do this or should I do that? It could even be someone who is actively opposing you. Hey, I want to go do this. And the person's like, no, you can't do that. You need to do that. Okay. I've seen the 2 of Pentacles show up when it speaks about juggling 2 things at one time, 2 separate situations. I've seen it show up when it talks about having, maybe you're working 2 jobs at the moment, so finances are kind of iffy for you, and you're trying to juggle, robbing Peter to pay Paul, so to speak. But it tells me that you are all a sea about something. And to me, it kind of appears that this, for some of you, may be a rather circular issue. You're going back and forth. I've seen this card show up when it speaks about travel and movement. Okay. Now here we have the 9 of Cups. And basically the meaning of the 9 of Cups is kind of like bland. It just says that, it's the wish card, that you get what whatever you want, you wish for, you're going to get it. Well, I can't necessarily say that's true because I don't know how many people I'm reading for who are watching me at the moment. And remember I said to you that this wish card is actually saying something to me, and I'm not quite exactly sure. And what it's really saying now that I'm talking about it and looking at it is be careful what you wish for. Okay, so we're going to look at that. We actually have 2 2s here. So the Judgment right in the center is a number 20, but we break down the numerology. 2 plus 0 equals 2. So this tells me that indeed this is some kind of partnership or relationship. Okay, 2 things coming together to make a third thing. The number 3 here. All right. But again, there's kind of this, what do you call it? Not necessarily a warning, but this call to heed your judgment. Okay, because what we see is something coming in rapidly. The 8 of Wands, known as the arrows of love. It can sometimes be this idea of getting a message from a loved one or a future loved one. Mostly this card shows up when it speaks about travel in conjunction with business. We see this Queen of Pentacles here. And so if you are not an earth sign, and this makes it a double earth, if you are not an earth sign, then this talks about what you do for a living. Maybe you handle accounts. Maybe you are an accountant, a banker. Maybe you own your own business, and maybe you work. I did a reading for somebody, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, and I forget what her sign was, but this card came up and then all of these pentacles, and I could not figure out for the life of me what was happening. And she laughed and she said, I worked 3 jobs. So that was how the money was flowing. I couldn't get that at first. I was so baffled by that. But that's how the cards work sometimes. So this tells me, and it also speaks about being grounded. So this is past, present, future, past, present, future interplay of the cards. But we see whenever the 8 of Wands shows up, what it says is that something is about to happen, and it will be happening rapidly. Usually within an 8-day time frame. So a week to 8 days. So we know that this will be after the full moon, right? Typically, though, it also says that whatever's happening happens so fast that all you can do is kind of hold on. Now, 8s are usually positive because what they tell you is that you are nearing the end of a completion of a cycle or whatever it is that you're doing. And this is about, the wands are about your focus, your passion, your desire, right? The coins are about finances, yes, but also the physical realm. So this is also what you are doing, or what you, or fruits of your labor, so to speak. The swords are simply about your thoughts, perceptions, belief, ideas, and communications. And the cups speak about your emotions and the emotional quotient. So the 8 says, things can be happening so fast, all you can do is just kind of hang on. It also says that there may be a delay, a short delay. I don't have any repeater numbers. I have a 2, a 9, and except for the 2 2s, right? Those are the only repeater numbers that I have. And then we come to the Judgment card. And the Judgment card is really a card, particularly here with this Pluto influence. It is speaking about a major change coming. Being called to a new life. So something is about to change. In one respect, what I'm getting is that whatever the news or the information, that announcement there with the horn, with the flag here, to me, always the international symbol of the hospital. So it says help is on the way. But what the card counsels you to do is to use your best judgment and your own discernment, utilizing your intuition, okay? You're going to have to make the best decision for whatever this change is. And then the Knight of Pentacles comes along. So to me, this whole row is about some kind of news or information coming in. That's what the pages are. This Judgment card also tells me in one respect that you're going to have to stop for a moment and really give some thought to whatever this thing is, or what is changing, or what it is you're supposed to do based upon the news. Because for me, Knights always represent an event. And what I mean by that is, he brings news, but that news brings a change. It moves the situation along, albeit it slows up from going super, super fast to kind of slow. And so the Knight of Pentacles is always good news. It talks about doing research or learning new skills, or being more practical and grounded and down to earth, taking your time with doing something as you move forward. Here with the Empress card, the Empress is about growth, fertility, abundance. I have seen her show up when it says that there are new projects and ideas coming to you, that there may be some type of financial incentive in it for you. And then we come to the Four of Swords. Now, this is a card that I find to be interesting, because before it was a 4, it was a 3. And 3s imply some kind of disappointment, maybe resentment, maybe bitterness, bad news, something of that nature, an attack on your feeling center. And so what do you have to do? You need to take a step back to meditate and reflect. This card also come out by saying there's so much happening here that by the end of the month, right? You're going to need to take a rest. But again, there's something about this Nine of Cups. And I'm going to take a look at that with the Sibillas. First thing I'm going to do, however, is turn over these 2 court cards, because traditionally they do represent people. And so what does that leave me? It leaves me the 2 of Coins, the 9 of Cups, which ain't going to tell me nothing, the 8 of Wands, and the 4 of Swords as they relate to the Moon, the Judgment, the Empress, and also to see if there are any influences of this Fool card over these. We see it there, right? So let me grab my book, and we will go to the 2 of Pentacles here. In the back, the 2 of Pentacles. Okay, it tells me nothing. Next to the Moon, or the Judgment, or the Empress, or the Fool card. Okay? It just simply says, flexibility and adaptability is going to be needed. If I had to give you one interpretation that you could really use, that would be it. All right? Now, I'm going to go look at this 9 of Cups anyway, but the 9 of Cups never tells me anything. It just never does. And it's not a useless card, but it never tells me much. And so I have to literally divine what that means. And I'm going to look at that, like I said, with the Sibillas, because it's not talking to me about yes and wishes and plans materializing. That can't be true for everybody watching this reading, right? Everybody has their own situation, their own set of circumstances, people that they have to deal with. So, for some people it could probably be easy peasy, and for others of you, you may struggle a little bit. Let's see, this is your Devil. So the 8 of Wands doesn't tell me anything. Okay. What does that leave me? The 4 of Swords. And the cards just, sometimes this happens when I am Here we go. Here it is. Four of Swords with the Judgment is a message to avoid complicated situations. It indicates that you may have undergone a great deal of pressure recently, and it would be unwise to step into a similar situation. It may be implying that you have undergone much pressure, so take it as a lesson well learned and avoid any similar speculation or involvement in the future. Learn from the experience and understand and appreciate the lesson. Remember, I said to you that there's a whole bunch of energy rushing around, and then by the end of the month, you're just going to be like, oh my God, I got to stop. So, what I'm going to do is take a look, because it doesn't tell me anything. I mean, you know, the cards are, I don't know if I finished that statement. I was saying sometimes around the full moon, the cards are really, very enigmatic. They won't tell me a whole lot, and I can only, I can only do what I can do. The Fool card. Here's one in relation to that particular joining of the cards. It signifies that past mistakes must be looked into as lessons were learned through the experience. So in other words, it appears that maybe you've already been through this before, and it appears that you may be about to get yourself into another similar situation. Be careful what you wish for. This keeps coming across. This is a message to look into your mistakes, as many lessons have already been learned, and you are urged not to make the same mistake again. Learn from the past. Wow. Blindly walking off the cliff. So let's take a look here. I just really want to take a look at this Nine of Cups. It is either about your finances, because it's more weighted towards the Pentacles than anything else, or it is about what you are doing and the manner in which you are doing it. This is what I would say. Okay. This is not a bad spread. But again, the cards never tell you what you want to hear. They tell you what you need to hear. And so sometimes this Nine of Cups can be the idea that you don't need no help. You think you don't need no help. And everything is going okay. So you become complacent. And you start to let stuff slide. Well, let's see. Costanza. Perseverance. Loyalty and fidelity. And the Donna de Servizio. Now that's interesting. Those are three very positive cards. And so what this is saying to me is that either this is about a person, or it is about the idea of perseverance, of sticking to whatever it is. Don't give up, because you're about to succeed. Now for some of you, this could be about your home or hometown or where you live. Remember, we're talking these travel cards here. Due to what we see is construction in the background. So the Fidelta card is about loyalty to either a person, a place, and or an idea or ideal. And then the Donna de Servizio comes out. She's the helper card. She is the counterpart to the domestico. Okay, Servizio and domestico. So she's simply coming out in the situation to say help. So if I had to pick another card, I want to know what the Judgment card, right in the center, because everything else is going on around it. What are you being counseled to, look after your own affairs, trust your own judgment. Because I say that some of you will find yourselves in a same and or similar situation if you are not careful and circumspect. Be careful what you wish for. That still comes across. Lies, obfuscation, people around you laying traps for you, and enemies. The Suspiciity card. Hope. And the Giovane Fanciulla. Now, the Giovane Fanciulla traditionally represents a woman, but in this sense, she's talking about a situation. Again, a situation. Okay, this is how, and what she's pointing to, if you will look, this is where the trouble is coming from. Let's read. I don't know what this is about, you know, but I've learned over the years, I don't have to understand the story. I don't have to know exactly what I'm looking at. I just know that the cards are, you know, they tell the story. Here we are, the what do you call it? The falseness, the Four of Diamonds. It is the card of lies, false adulation, and compliments given with an ulterior motive. It is an extremely negative card, as it uncovers, this card can uncover people's true intentions towards you, which are never what they outwardly seem to be. Everything looks different under the light of the moon. Be careful what you wish for. You know what? I've been waiting on that, and I believe that this is the right thing, and that's going to help me, or you're going to help me. And so, yeah, let's do it. Now, the card says that it represents someone often very close and possibly a long-standing acquaintance or even a family member who is two-faced and plotting against you. It is a card that represents murky and thorny situations woven with the tight web of lies and deceits. And often you are not even aware of the true state of affairs, as people are skilled and know how to deceive you. It represents someone who may be taking advantage of your good trust and faith in them. That Fool card. Now, it says this card can sometimes indicate something that is done or received in an illegal way. So, contraband, fake goods, and illegal merchandise. Or it could simply be someone who meddles in other people's affairs with dangerous consequences, like curiosity killed the cat. Basically, the card implies envy, self-interest, deceitfulness, flattery, servility, and empty compliments. And it says that typically you are surrounded by or living in a nest of vipers full of people with ulterior motives who are near you just to use you for their own selfish ends. This is what the card says. In love, the card indicates infidelity, lies, and a partner with ulterior motives. It precludes the possibility of true love. Financially, it warns of false opportunities, fake money, deceitful colleagues, Ponzi schemes, and fraud, contraband, and swindles. It heralds a period fraught with gossip, slander, and deceit. This card always warns that the situation is hiding a trap and that there is danger lurking in the background. Now, what I find to be interesting is this idea of you feeling, in a sense, kind of sorry for yourself, as if you are being left behind. Okay? That's what this card represents. It is the card of tears and anxiety and worry. Quite an interesting card and an interesting set of... it is actually the Six of Swords, which is almost like the same meaning of the Six of Swords in the tarot. And so what this card says, let me get to it. It says that this is a card of anxiety and tears, apparently caused by circumstances you are aware of, while the problem lies elsewhere. We'll see that broken arrow. Wow, that was weird. Holy smokes. Oh no, my battery's low. Why is the battery low? Oh my God. Hold on. Are you kidding me? Oh, here we go. Hold on. Oh no, come on, turn on. Okay, I had to because completely shut my camera off. So I was talking to you about the Sospiety. And the Sospiety is the card of sorrow, of anxiety, of tears. Sometimes as if, you know, being left behind or losing out on something. But then again, it says that whatever the problem is, it is something that is being projected into the future, that discordant energy of this arrow. And here, which I find to be interesting, is we see that the Giovani Fanciulla is pointing backwards to these two cards. And it's almost as if the cards are saying, you know, either you don't trust the situation or someone around you, or you feel based upon your intuition that something is amiss with this particular situation, then again, I would advise you to take a break, take a rest, because this card here is saying to you most definitely to don't get caught out in the same or similar situation. You know, and if this is a person, the Giovani Fanciulla would be the Queen of Wands, and she could be anybody really. She could be a friend, a sister, a colleague. It's not the il nemica. It's not the la nemica. It's not an enemy. It could just be someone, even you yourself, in terms of speaking about anxiety, fragility, vulnerability, a nervousness and anxiety. But it's all kind of projected around in the future, and it's almost as if it's going around in circles, as though the cards are saying to me, you know, you suspect something, but you're not quite sure. You're not quite sure. Even though you may have all of the other indications to go ahead and move forward. The Four of Swords, I think it was the Four of Swords with the Moon, is saying to you, you've already been in a similar situation. Don't get caught in the same situation before. Again, that you've been in. Okay? And so that's what I think is coming up for you. Whether this is a business situation, a friendship, a romance, whether this is about moving, staying, changing jobs, projects, whatever the case may be, the cards are saying to you that although, and this whole thing, this card here, the 9, to me, what these cards are saying is that, you know, right now everything seems to be going okay. Perseverance, you put in the hard work. You know that whatever you've done is a solid, and this has come to help you. And we see things moving forward, but then it ends in this card. So don't become complacent. This whole idea of be careful what you wish for. Because sometimes when we wish for things, we get them, we don't tend to double check or expect that anything else could come up out of the blue, right? And I feel what the cards are saying is that you need to be on your P's and Q's at this particular time, because all is not as it appears to be. All right? Regardless of how it looks on the surface. And so what I'm going to do now, because there's still something going on with my computer and I don't know what it is. I don't know if you can hear the whirring sound. Hasn't done that in quite some time, and it was smelling smoky a little bit earlier, so I literally had to shut it off. So formulate your question for the Golden Nostradamus. And we will see what he has to say. All right, here we go. Now, number 18. If I'm not mistaken, he's called the Boy. 18. The pure of heart are never afraid, but the scoundrel's fear is never allayed. Cultivate simplicity, goodness, purity, and honesty. These attributes will give you an advantage over difficulties, enemies, or your inner hardness. Now, I don't know exactly what that means, but I would wrap all of those things up, simplicity, goodness, purity, and honesty, in terms of using your own judgment, being true to yourself, making sure that you are upfront with other people, you know. And maybe this is the idea that this was based upon lies. And that's what that's saying. That in the past, something has happened to you and it's causing you a bit of trepidation right now. But those feelings may be warranted. You know, those feelings may be warranted. There very well could be somebody out there that's, you know, telling you lies, or it could crop up again. So be on the lookout. So that's what I have for you for the full moon on 15 May. Full moon in Scorpio. I hope that helps. Until next time, be well, stay safe, and namaste.